Hello, and welcome to the channel. My name is Dubs. I'm a former gang member who gave the state of California 27 years of incarceration. Here's my 2 cents. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to try to give you guys an understanding, at least a description of what it's really like to be in a California state prison. Last night, I was in bed, and I searched on YouTube and I looked for videos, or actually I looked for sounds, prison sounds. And we got the regular cell door closing that sounds like death row. But there were a couple videos where you get that murmur. But it seemed like the murmur that was there was in a cell block. And while there are certain cell blocks in California that are going to be noisy, when you hit a California maximum security yard, especially a 180 design prison, you're not going to hear too much noise. Now, in California, for those of you that don't know, the maximum security yards, the level 4s, there's two levels, two designs, 180 and 270. 180 being maximum security. What the 180 is talking about is the eyesight of the cop. So you go into a 180, there's A section, B section, and C section. A section is completely walled in. A section can't see B section or C section. B section is completely walled in. Can't see A or B section. And C section, again, completely walled in. Can't see any other section. A 270 design prison, A section can look all the way across to C section. They can see B section. B section can see A and C. There's no walls. 180 design prison, the doors are solid. In some of the 270 design prisons, the doors have holes in them. They look like a cheese grater. And so naturally, there's going to be more sound, more noise. Now, with that said, when you step on to a level 4 yard in California, you immediately feel a thing in the air. It's almost electrical. You usually only feel it the first time you hit a yard. After that, it's like your body is accustomed to it because you're around it every day. I don't know what that vibration is. I don't know if it's hate. I don't know if it's evil. I don't know if it's despair. But I'm pretty sure it's a mixture of all three. When you get to a cell, the cell's concrete. The bunk, the locker, and the desk are metal. And I can tell you, when you enter a 180 design prison and you go to your cell, it's more than likely going to be really quiet. I remember when I was in New Folsom, when I was in C section, in 3 building, the homies used to say they hated coming to my section because they said it was the old man section. And even though A and B section were quiet, C section, the section I was in, there weren't that many youngsters in there. And I had spoken to the people in there, the other groups, about keeping the noise to a minimum. Let's have an agreement here. And it was adhered to by everyone in that section. And so the homies used to come in, they say, man, I hate coming in here, man. It's so damn quiet. But that's what I had been used to. When you're in Pelican Bay Shoe, when the shoe was open, when you were in Pelican Bay Shoe, it was so quiet that your ears would ring. Everyone adhered to the quietness there. So when I went to New Folsom, I went ahead and, like I said, me and guys from other factions and ethnicities, we all came to an understanding where we're going to show respect on the tier. So you could be in your cell, watching TV, listening to music, whatever it is, and you may hear in the vent your neighbors get into an argument. That argument may become physical. And so you hear the squeaks of the shoes, kind of like when you're watching an NBA game or you go to a basketball game and you hear the shoes squeaking. That's one of the first things you're going to hear. And you're going to hear punches land. And here's the treacherous thing about prison. I'm sure other states do the same thing. But if I hear my neighbors get into a physical altercation, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the front of my cell and I'm going to yell out the door, "Agua." And I'm going to flush my toilet. And everyone else is going to start flushing their toilet. That's to make sure that the cops, they don't hear what's happening in that cell. The toilets in the California Department of Corrections, when they flush, sounds like a damn jet engine went off in the cell. They're explosive. Very, very powerful. So imagine having every cell in a section flushing. Now, this was before. Now they have the toilets on timers, but that's what used to happen. I don't want you guys to understand. Same thing would happen in the shoe. Guys get into in the cell. As soon as you hear the feet, everybody's like, what? You hear the noise of blows to the face or body, flush the toilet. It's not your business, but it damn sure ain't the cop's business. It becomes a cop's business when it's over with. I remember laying over one time in Wasco, and it was in the middle of the night. The cell above me, they got into an altercation, and you could hear it. You could hear the bodies hitting the walls, bouncing off the walls. The clang of somebody hitting the desk, the seat probably. Somebody's elbow or head or hand hitting the bunk. And then there was a hard thump. And then there was a sound of whoever it was, the guy that was losing, it was the sound of his head repeatedly getting smashed into the concrete floor. And I remember looking at the dude who they celled me up with. I was only there for a layover for the night. I remember looking over at him, and we just shook our head like, he's dead. California Department of Corrections, you go to a maximum security yard, with the exception of Pelican Bay. Pelican Bay was the most respectful place I ever did time because of who was there. You go to a level 4 180 yard, the guys, when they're done with their shoe term in Pelican Bay, Corcoran, whatever shoe they were in, Tehachapi, they go to the 180s, 180 design level 4s for a minimum of 3 years. It's very rare that people can stay on a yard for 3 years without getting involved in something, stabbing something, maybe unaliving something. And everyone knows that. So you hit a level 4 180 yard, you'll hear good morning, good night, good afternoon, thank you. You'll hear words amongst killers, bona fide killers, that you rarely hear out here in society. That's a trip, right? Anyways, I just wanted to give you a little visual, hopefully in your mind, of how ugly the sounds are in the California Department of Corrections Level 4 prison and how brutal it is. And before I go, I want to say one thing. In over 24 years of incarceration within the California Department of Corrections, I heard those sounds many, many times. And I only remember 2 times ever hearing anyone ask for help. It's unheard of in prison. You're in a fight to the death. Fight or die. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.